In this movie, the final girl, born out of an extraordinary circumstance, Veronica's life is defined by a single purpose: to become a weapon. This is the story of her final test, a mission to dismantle a group of vicious teenage boys who hunt and kill young blonde women to fulfill their bestial desires. The narrative opens with a 5-year-old Veronica in an interrogation room, a stark contrast to her innocence. Across from her sits William, a skilled agent, probing her about the death of her parents. To his surprise, the girl remains calm and collected. William presents her with a paper maze, a test of her cognitive skills, which she solves with impressive speed. He then tests her memory, and she recalls their first house in meticulous detail. Astounded, William declares her perfect and offers her a new life, a life of training and missions for exceptional individuals. The curious girl asks how he got his job, and William reveals that his family was killed by a bad man. In a moment of childish simplicity, Veronica asks for ice cream, and William, a man of profound seriousness, smiles. 12 years pass. A teenage Veronica trains with William in a serene lake. He makes her stand barefoot on wet rocks, preparing her for the chases to come. He advises her to avoid fighting on water and offers her a gun. When she finds the gun is blank, William throws rocks at her, explaining that a gun without ammunition is a disadvantage. He orders her to run back to their car, miles away, while he leaves with the canoe. This rigorous training continues with an extreme test of her will. William strangles her, forcing her to find the power to defend herself. When she fails, he takes her position and orders her to choke him until he is lifeless. Terrified, she complies, and he falls unconscious. She slaps him awake, and he stares, bewildered by her immense power. He then records her assembling a gun with extraordinary speed, a final preparation for the mission ahead. The focus shifts to the antagonists, a group of teenage boys, Jameson, Daniel, Shane, and Nelson, at a diner with their friend Jennifer. Their leader, Jameson, fixates on a new blonde waitress, Gwen. Jennifer questions his obsession, revealing his type. As the boys pursue their perverse desires, William sends Veronica on a trial run. She approaches a man in a bar and lures him to the restroom, where she strangles him unconscious. William enters, praises her work, and concocts a scenario of an unwilling kiss, making the confused man apologize. In the dark forest, the boys chase Gwen. They catch her, and Jameson shoots her dead. Back at an inn, Veronica tries to seduce William, but he declines her advances. He then straps her to a chair and injects her with truth serum and DMT, a potent hallucinogen. He tickles her, proving she's still human, before the injection. She hallucinates, fighting a man who overpowers her. William appears, shoots her assailant, and then calls her a failure, thrusting a knife into her heart. He brings her back to reality with a pail of water. She confesses her fear of failing the mission, and he reminds her to remain sharp, declaring she's ready for her final test. William drives Veronica to the diner, revealing the group's history of killing 10 women. Veronica notices Jennifer, Shane's girlfriend, who William reveals is their cover. Veronica approaches Jennifer, and they share milkshakes. Jennifer, in distress, shares her worries about the boys, describing them as a pack of wolves on the verge of tearing each other apart. Veronica urges her to live today like you're going to die tomorrow. She reports back to William, who reveals that this mission is her final test, and she must do it alone. Days later, Veronica, now the new blonde at the diner, is noticed by Jameson. He invites her to meet him on Saturday night, promising to take her to another world. That Saturday, the boys gather, their excitement palpable. Shane says goodbye to Jennifer, telling her he's going on a hunt. Nelson, with a baseball bat, and Daniel, with an axe, join Jameson. Concurrently, Veronica dresses in a red dress, writes, "I love you" on her mirror, and is picked up by Jameson. She playfully asks if they're an a cappella group due to their tuxedos. On the road, she joins in their destructive glee, swinging a bat and destroying mailboxes, earning their praise. Jameson tells his friends they should keep her longer to enjoy themselves. They arrive at their hideout in the dark forest. Veronica, feigning stumbling on her heels, is led to worn-out couches. Daniel invites her to play a game, and she offers them a drink from her flask, secretly laced with hallucinogens. Jameson, however, declines. They play truth or dare with a twist. Jameson reveals a story about his first hunt, a rabbit he let die a slow, painful death. Veronica reveals she had a chance to save someone's life, but didn't. Nelson eats a worm as a dare. Daniel asks Veronica to hit him, and she obliges. Jameson kisses her as a dare. She chooses a dare that requires her to be tied up. Jameson uses Nelson's belt to tie her hands. She then asks Jameson about Gwen. Alarmed, Daniel and the others withdraw from the game. Jameson changes the game to a hunt and tells her to run. She feigns terror, screaming for help as the boys laugh. The hunt begins. An untied Veronica prepares herself. Daniel, hallucinating, sees two mascots and swings his axe at the manifestation of his fears. Veronica dodges his attacks and, seeing him as two mascots due to the laced drink, ends him with his own weapon. She then wears his shoes. Nelson hallucinates masked men. Veronica disarms him, and a fistfight ensues. She repeatedly charges at him, and he perceives her as the masked thugs. She overpowers him and, as he imagines kissing his mother, crushes his head with a rock. Jameson finds Daniel's corpse. Jennifer arrives, looking for Shane. She finds Jameson, her ex, who kisses her. Shane arrives and sees them. He beats Jameson, who tells him that people like them cannot love. Shane reveals the truth about their hunts to a terrified Jennifer. Jameson points a gun at her, but Shane tackles him. He then chokes Jennifer, but as his hallucinations end, Veronica chokes him until he no longer breathes. Jameson finds Nelson's body and follows Veronica's tracks. She tends to her dislocated nose. He applauds her work and approaches her. He reveals that his friends were drugged with truth serum and DMT. He boasts they've killed 21 women, including her. Veronica confirms he slept with Jennifer and asks about his deepest fear. He hits her for the death of his friends and proposes marriage. They fight, and she strangles him, just as she did with William. She forces the remaining hallucinogen into his mouth. He wakes to a rope tied around his hands and neck, standing on a small rock. Veronica warns him that a wrong step will lead him to his death. He begs for his life. Veronica asks him if he's religious, and he says no. He refuses to beg God for help. Suddenly, he hallucinates Gwen and the other girls he killed. Terrified, he cries as his greatest fear, personified, pushes him to his death. Veronica watches the lifeless young man hang. William appears, praises her work, and the two share pancakes at the diner, a final, celebratory moment after a mission successfully accomplished. And the movie concludes.